So we've started working in the WYSIWYG toolbar, and now we're going to work with links. The reason I separated links out is because they are a little bit specialized and they deserve their own treatment separate a little bit from everything else. So maybe I want to link my PDF page on here. I have a page devoted to training people in PDF accessibility. So let's call this. So I've added some text here for that, and I want to make this right here a link to my PDF accessibility page. So you'll see that the next button on the WYSIWYG toolbar is a chain, and the chain pops up with a little pop-up insert edit link. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the text that I want to be the link, and I'm going to click that chain, and it's going to bring up the insert edit link dialog box. This is the options we have for setting our links. Now, you have a URL field, first of all, and you could link something there. Like so. But there can be an issue with that. If I set a link with the straight URL that goes to that web page like that, there are a lot of pages in the Wichita State University website that are in a general state of flux. And you see situations where departments merge or departments split. Some departments become something else and get renamed, rebranded, pages that get removed completely. So there's a constant sort of state of stuff that's in movement across the website. Now, this PDF page, if it were to move from this location and get put in a different location in the website, its only link that it has here is to that URL. So if that URL no longer leaves that web page, this link is broken. So we use what's called dependency links. And a dependency link can be set here by using the URL button. So I want to link this to my PDF page. And you see I've got a directory structure pulled up. And I'm going to go to the very base because it's in MRC, services. And I'm going to use my filter to find services. MRC. Web services. There's my PDF remediation page. And I insert the link. And you see we have the F:343 code in the double brackets. So that's an accessibility link. And what it is it's sort of like a fingerprint on the web page file itself. Anything on the web page that has this sort of link. No matter where this page moves, rather than looking for the URL, it's going to look for this fingerprint, so to say, this identifier mark on the page itself. And it's going to consistently refresh and fix links that are broken no matter where they move in the system or what they're renamed as. So you always want to use dependency links if you can. The only time you can't use a dependency link is if it's something outside of OmniCMS. You're linking an exterior site. There are some sites in the Wichita State website that aren't under this, like learn.wichita.edu, for example, or the catalog pages. But everything that's within your directories and such, you can always use dependency links, and it will save you a lot of grief in the future when things end up inevitably shifting around, as they will. And there's also another way you can get a dependency link if you know where something is and you don't want to go through the entire directory structure. So if I wanted to link this to my PDF page, I have a shortcut set up for it, which is what I used in the URL first, wichita.edu, PDF help. There's the page. And I will go into, I'll log into it here. When it catches up with itself, there it goes. You remember on the gadgets, there was a page info option. So I'm going to go over to my gadgets and open it. And in page info, if I open up that drop down, again, when it catches up with itself, Under page products, there's of course the link I can use to look at a live version of the page in a separate tab, but there's also that F code. I can copy that F code off that page, come right over to my page and drop it in. Same dependency link. So on occasion, that may be a shortcut that you would like to use, particularly if it's a page that you've been working on and you're dropping a link on another page and you don't want to look through the complete directory structure to get to it. Text to display. This is simply the text that it shows there, same text as this, and allows you to change that text if you want to. Like maybe I want to say it's a training page, accessibility training page, like that. And I could save it. And now I have a link. So that's a very basic link. We can do some fancier things than that if we'd like using the system. I'm going to go back into the insert edit link. Title tends to be a pop-up that'll appear if people hover over the link. You notice here that there's an option here for open link in current window or next window. It's kind of a misnomer. It really kind of should read tab because that's what it's going to do. It's not going to open a new browser window. And by default, it's set to current window. A lot of people like to set it to new window, but we do recommend that you don't. We recommend that you leave it at current window. And the reason why is for accessibility reasons. So a lot of people like it to set it so they click the link and the web page opens in a new tab. And that's a neat idea because the idea is then they have the other tab open for the page they originally came from. Well, in the case of opening it in a new tab, most of the time it's going to open it in another tab, but it doesn't automatically shift the user to that tab. It stays on the tab that is currently open. So for someone who's using accessibility technology, JAWS and VDA, whatnot, they're going to click on this link and it's going to open that tab, but it's not going to immediately present that tab to that user. So to all intents and purposes, it seems like it was a dead link and it wasn't. So that's a bit of an accessibility issue. You're always best to leave open link in as current window. Just below that, we have class. This allows you to set some custom appearance for your link. And the drop-down offers a number of options. The two most notably used options are rich link and buttons. So a rich link, I've got it down there. I'll select that and I'll click save. And you see that it has become a larger, more prominent piece of text that highlights itself in red when you hover over it. And if we were to see this on the live page, it looks like this. And that's pretty classy, pretty plain, but pretty classy. But what's really neat is you can take that, and if you've got a series of these links going down a page, if you select these and you make a bulleted list out of them, I'll republish here. When they're organized in a bulleted list, what you end up with is this nifty little arrow at the end. So you can have a series of these all with a little arrow. It's a neat look, very uniform, very nice. And so let's undo that real quick. Another option. The other popular option is buttons. If we come down to the class, we might select a default style button here. And these are the hover over buttons that you see, like such. Here's our preview of it. It has an arrow. And it has a variety of color shifts and sizes of buttons. You can have large buttons. You can have, this is a default size button. Some go from, I believe, white to yellow. And they're a very nifty visual tool. Some of the snippets incorporate buttons in them automatically. If you have a series of links you'd like to include and just don't want to make a bunch of buttons on your own. So that's links in general. Now, maybe we don't want a link after all. And we decide, I don't know. We have a broken chain. The broken chain is pretty much what you think. Remove link. Oh, it selected too much text here. Let's try that again. There we go. Just reduces it to the plain text it started out as. Our next button in regard to links is this envelope button. That's insert, edit, mail to link. So this creates a link that will automatically open up the user's email client with a blank, basically send to email with some details already filled out. Ready to send. So I'm going to select my text and click that envelope. First thing up there in insert mail to link dialog is address. Where is it going to go? Maybe it's going to come to me. So it's going to populate the address it's sending to, the subject of the email. So now it's got where it's going to populate the email address, who it's going to, the subject of the email, subject line, class. Again, this can be a variety of different things. Rich link and buttons, of course, are options in there. Custom class is, I believe, a area for custom code. Let's save. And I don't have this thing sharing where it will show it on my email client, but if I click that, it would open up and pre-formatted email. All the user would have to do is fill out the body of the email and hit send, and they're done. Break our link again. And our final link type that we have here is anchor links, the anchor button here on the end. And anchor links are used to refer to areas on a page or sections of a page rather than the full page. And I'll show you what this means in a moment. Let's add some space here because we're going to need it to demonstrate this well. So maybe I want this to link to the very last line of this text on this page. We would use an anchor link for that. So I'm going to drop my cursor there and I'm going to click the anchor button. And it's going to want an ID. This is the ID for that anchor. It's going to basically be what the link will tell the system to look for to stop scrolling through the page. In this case, I might call this common issues. Now, in the case of an anchor link, you cannot start an anchor link ID with a number. In fact, because no one's just going to see it, I'm going to take that underline out too. Just call it common issues. So you can't start an ID with a number. Just remember that. I'll click save. You see we have a little box that popped up with an anchor in it, right? So now I'm going to go way back up to the top and on PDF accessibility training page, I'm going to highlight that. And I'm going to click insert edit link with the chain button like I did before. And you'll see that suddenly now we have a thing called anchors, whereas it wasn't there before. So it's basically detected there are anchors on the page. So I'm going to open that up and there's common issues. And if you had 5 of these across the page, they would all show up and you would select the applicable one. I select common issues and save. I'm going to save. And publish. And come over to my live page, refresh it. And if I click PDF accessibility training page, it takes me to the bottom of the page. Now note here that the URL changed a little bit. That when you click that link, you get a URL that now ends in the hashtag followed by the ID you gave the anchor link. You could take this URL and put it on another page. And just to demonstrate that, we'll come back over to our landing page a moment. And I'm going to go into my multi-edit. And for the header CTA video overlay box, I'm going to drop that URL, save. And publish it. And now, let's just refresh it just to be sure. Sometimes it takes a second to settle in. I'm going to click that button. And it led me from that page all the way over to this page and to the bottom of this page. So you can do that. Caveat of using an anchor link in that way is that you cannot set them as a dependency link. Dependency link works on items and pages. It does not work on sort of sections, so to speak. It's not really a separate thing of a page, but you can absolutely link things that way if you'd like to. And we'll get rid of our link here. Oh, it's still got too many characters in it. Be a bit finicky on this. There we go. And I'll come back down and I'll delete my anchor off. Our final button on the upper row here is this circle with a question mark in it. That's a sort of general help. And you'll see here it shows all of the buttons from the toolbar. So if you forget what a tool does, or you're looking for a tool, you don't know what each one does, you need to sort of have a refresher, you can come in here and have a look. And we'll end that one here. Next one up, we're going to start looking at formatting tools.